What's up, Bulldogs? All right, I promised you I'd make some more content talking about what is the kind of behavior that fits a man of character and a man of high value. And so today I want to talk about mudslinging and calling people names and really making any kind of derogatory statements about other men and why that's always weak, non-masculine behavior, regardless of who's doing it. If you guys are just joining me for the first time, I'm John from BulldogMindset.com. On this channel, I teach you how to be a man, teach you how to build financial independence, how to get the physique you want, how to get the girls you want, and how to go from the victim mindset to the Bulldog mindset. Click that subscribe button to join us here. And then there's a card up here. As always, you can take the Bulldog quiz, just 10 questions will tell you what your Bulldog score is from 0 to 100. All right, so yeah, you know, again, this isn't about anyone specifically, but I wanted to address this topic because I see so much of it now. And people are like, what do you think about this person saying this about this person or all of this stuff? And my answer is just, if you are doing any amount of mudslinging and name calling, regardless of whether you claim you're rooting out scammers or whatever it is, it is just unbecoming of a man of character, of a man of class, of a gentleman, of a high value man to do that, right? That it doesn't matter. I'm applying this regardless of who you are, regardless of your reasons for doing this. Now, you might say, well, John, aren't you like calling the kettle black? Isn't that exactly what you're doing in this video? And what you'll notice is that I'm not going to use any names. I'm calling out a behavior. I'm not calling out a person. I don't need to do that. But you might say, well, John, didn't you make a video about Jordan Peterson? And in that case, I only had good things. I mean, I had good things to say about him. I pointed out some issues in what he was teaching and some issues from his life. And you could even argue, if you made the argument and said, no, John, that is still, regardless of how you dress it up, it's still to some way making a derogatory video about a person. Okay, I would even be willing to grant you that, but that is not the way that I operate, and it's not the way that I suggest you operate, and I haven't made any videos of that kin since. Although if you watch the Jordan Peterson video that I did, I think you'll find that I was very fair. I praised him quite a bit. I said that I had nothing against him personally, but I pointed out some of the things that I thought are important to know, you know, as in the sense of talking about him as a public figure, as opposed to me trying to attack him in his brand and whatnot. So regardless, it doesn't change the fact that regardless of whether you view what I did as doing that or not, it is still not fitting. Again, I'm not a perfect human being. I am not perfect in that in any way, but I do subscribe to principles which I live my life by. And those principles are very important. It is very important to be a man that lives his life with principles. In fact, in the Bulldog Mindset membership, if you haven't checked it out, go click the link down below, $7 for the first month. I am going to be putting together a series of my hierarchy of principles. This has been highly requested, and how to live your life by principles and what that means. I think that's really important. It's something that I want to go into depth. I can't really just cover on this channel with some short videos. So check that out. Join us. If you haven't already, by the way, it'll be the best investment that you make in your life. I'm pretty confident of that, considering that, you know, so many members in the Bulldog Mindset membership have completely changed their lives. All right. So again, going back to the topic of mudslinging, name calling, it's something that I want to make sure that I don't see you guys doing, you know, especially in my membership. I already did a video just recently where I said I'm kicking people out of the membership that do this in the membership, because that's not the way to treat people. It's not the way that we behave. I don't want you representing me, okay, to be honest with you, because it's just not the kind of behavior that someone who is successful, has self-confidence, is a person that people respect does. Okay. What I want you to watch, if you disagree with me about this, is I want you to watch all the people involved in this. All right. And there's plenty of videos on YouTube. I'm not going to point out people. I'm not going to point out videos. You can go and look at the stuff out there. But I want you to see what has happened to their character and how your view of them has changed based on that, how other people's view, whether they're right or wrong. Okay, there's some people that call out people and they call out obvious, or not obvious maybe, but scams and some definite lies that people have told. it might seem like that's a good thing to do. Okay, this is a noble person going out there, but it always taints their own image. It always comes back to bite you because it is just not masculine behavior. Okay, men do not gossip and throw around insults to each other. All right, if you got a problem with me, let's go out in the parking lot and let's settle the problem if we need to come to that. Hopefully we can come to that with a discussion behind closed doors. Me and you, we can talk it out. We can have a private discussion, have a good time, become friends. If not, I'm ready to throw down. I'm ready to do it. It's fine. But that's how I'll handle things as a man. All right, I'm not going to handle things by gossiping, by making rumors about you, by making parody videos of you and memes of you and doing that kind of stuff. And again, you might think I'm calling out someone specifically. I'm not, because there's so many guilty parties in this, and it doesn't mean I don't respect these guys and consider them to be friends. I'm not on unfriendly terms with them, at least not on my part, but I am going to call out incorrect and bad behavior that is unfitting of a man. And then that just simply is, and a lot of people have tried to argue with me and try to say, no, John, there's some instances where this makes sense. And I hear you and I understand to a degree what you're saying. And there's a part of me that wants to agree and say, yeah, actually that does make sense when someone's, but it doesn't make sense because principles guide your behavior. Here's a very high principle to understand, which is that you do not allow someone's treatment of you or of who they are to affect who you are, right? So it's about not letting people bring you down to their level. And so you might say, well, this person deserves it, and I'm doing a service to the community by calling them out. It doesn't matter, because what you're doing now is you're participating in mudslinging. You're participating, whether it be factual or not. You are now allowing what they've done or who they are to undermine your own integrity and to make you stoop down to a lower level of gossiping and whatnot. So this is just something that I'm not going to really bend on, right? It's a very clear principle to me that men do not do this. Again, have I ever done this in my life? Of course I have. Everyone has made mistakes. I've made mistakes. I'm not perfect in any way, but I will not tolerate this in the Bulldog Mindset membership, which if you haven't joined, you can check it out. And part of the reason why I want to make this video too is to let you guys know, hey, I'm building a community of men that ascribe to these principles. Okay. Now you might not. Now, believe me, I could have a much more successful channel. I could have a much more successful membership. I could have a lot more people if I did a woman hiding channel, if I did an expose on other people's channel, if I did that kind of mudslinging type of thing, all right, and showed and told you, oh, it's not your fault, women are so bad, blah blah blah, whatever. Men are more happy single, all of these things. All right. Women are so bad, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I could do that and I could be more successful, but I don't want to do that. Right. Instead, what I want to do is I want to create a community of really strong, outstanding men. I want to create a community of men that I would be willing to go to battle with, of men that I would want to be around and that I would want to have my daughter date. That's the kind of men that I would want to create within my community. And that's why I'm building that community. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, right? Think about these things and think about, and what I would have you meditate on, if anything, with all this is just, will you allow someone else's depravity to change your character, to make you less of a man? Right? I'm not going to allow that to happen regardless of what someone does. And people can sling mud at me all day, and I am not going to respond by slinging mud back at them. And I'll tell you again, like I said, most of the people that do this, they do this out of fear or hurt. And some of them do believe that they have a noble reason for doing that. I don't think that it's completely always a malicious thing in their mind. All right. But it's weak. It's weak behavior, right? Defending yourself in many cases is weak because you don't need to, because your words should stand for themselves. Your actions should stand for themselves as a man. If you guys question me and you're like, well, John, is John a fraud? Is John, whatever? Does he have results? Does he have receipts? All these things. All right, fine. Go ahead. I'm not going to defend the accusations because I don't need to. You can look at what I'm doing. You can look at who I am. You can listen to what I'm saying. All right. And you can see that the things that I talk about on this channel, that they are what I live. And, that's what it comes down to. So defending myself, calling other people names, mudslinging, responding to mudslinging, it's not necessary. It's not behavior that behooves you as a gentleman, as a man of honor, of a man who has integrity and lives his life by principles. All right. And so if you don't like that, you're welcome to unsubscribe from the channel. You're welcome to go over to some community where men just bash women, bash other people who aren't part of their group, and you're welcome to do that. It's fine. I'm not offended. Go be where you'll be happy. as Andrew from Nomad Capitals would say, go where you're treated best. But the question I would have for you is, are you treated best there? Right? You know, what I find in many of these communities is that as soon as someone commits the sin of not complying with the groupthink, then they are ostracized and bullied. So it's unfortunate, but that's the truth. So guys, be better, be bigger than that. Don't participate on it. Don't go in the comments. Don't feed into it. When you see a video on YouTube where someone is slinging mud or doing some shit, don't comment there. Don't even watch the video if you can withstand from doing that. And instead, just live your life as a man that has integrity, that has compassion for other people, that treats them well and respects other people, whether they deserve it or not. And don't allow someone else's behavior to change who you are. It's such a key thing. And that's what, when you talk about being masculine and being a man, when I look at masculinity, I think of masculinity as being a rock, being as a dependable, a force that does not change, that's not influenced by emotions, that is not easily swayed, a really stable human being. That's what it means to be masculine, to be a man. And so if you allow other people's behavior, their bad behavior, to change your core characteristics of who you are and what you value and the things that you speak about and do, then you're not much of a man, unfortunately. You're lacking in masculinity. Again, this is not a personal attack against anyone, but this is a call. I'm calling you. If you're watching this video and you're doing this kind of stuff, I'm calling you to a higher purpose as a man, right? Because I know that it's not good for your soul. It's not good for you. It doesn't solve anything. It doesn't help anything. It only makes you look bad. And when you look at it again, like I said, you want the proof of it. Look at the people who are doing this, and has anyone actually gained in value in your eyes? Not just in subscribers or whatever, but in actual value. Do you ever see someone who participates in name calling and you're like, this guy's an outstanding, member of society, a pillar of a man? Do you feel like he's more masculine because he's name called? I don't.